Like the beam, it's time for Nerdy for 30, the podcast where we usually talk about nerdy-ish movies for 30-ish minutes. But today, we are bringing you a special episode that nobody asked for. It's Flirty for 30, where me, Kevin Bauer, a.k.a. the Critics' Choice, along with the People's Champ, Tim Keck.
If you feel it, chase it, baby.
Feel it, chase it. Give you, the listener, dating advice. I guess not dating advice for you, the listener, so much as people who ask questions on Reddit. Tim, you ready to give some dating advice today?
I'm ready, Kevin. Do you? I'm trying to figure out like the gold standard of relationships here, gold standard of dating. For whatever reason, I saw the video of the Oscars clip of, remember when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock in the face?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I'm real curious how you're going to land the plane on this one.
I'm just saying that is a bad relationship. Whatever Will Smith and Jada have going on, that is not what we're shooting for. Okay, that is not what we're shooting for. We're shooting for everything Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift think they are. You know, the perfect
what
couple.
They represent.
I think they're in love and it's cute.
I disagree, but I agree with what you're talking about with what they think they are, or at the very least, what they want people to think
what
they are.
What they're putting out there. But they did talk for 2 hours. Did you listen to that podcast? I didn't listen to it. Why are we talking about this? I mostly wanted to say that I rewatched the Chris Rock, Will Smith slapping video, and it is insane that happened. It is wild. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And Will Smith is like still out here pretending it didn't happen. He's he makes TikToks and stuff.
I don't think he's pretending it didn't happen. I would say that he has been in one continuous death spiral ever since that happened. Like, realistically, if we're looking at this, look, we don't need to go too deep into the slap here. But if we're looking at this, his life was already on a downward trend to the point where the slap happened. Like, the slap is not the start of something going down. Something was going down beforehand. We all know about the red table talks and all that shit. Like, this has been... Will Smith has had like a really bad decade and he has not been doing himself any favors. And oh my God, all the like freestyle rapping and stuff that's been posted, the AI crowd video, all this stuff, it just gets worse and worse.
It was wild. Where he just posted video that was AI generated, making it look like it was an audience for one of his shows, right?
Yeah, and they're holding up signs about how much he changed their lives and how he helped them get through cancer. And it's so sad, dude. And you wonder on one level how somebody can keep making these terrible choices. But then on another level, it makes perfect sense, Tim, because if he has a team that is around him that's allowing him to do some of this bad stuff, of course they would continue making bad decisions. They have already shown him who they are. If you get 10% into the decade that Will Smith is having, you fire everyone. You clean house and you use your Will Smith money to get whatever the best possible team is that you can get that will work with you. That would be the playbook.
Clean house, make ditch Jada, make the 5th Bad Boys movie. And just get back into your lane.
Get back into the lane. I will say Bad Boys 4, good movie. Bad Boys 4 is a fun time, dude. It's not going to win any Oscars. It's obviously not as good as
you don't think
1
so?
and 2.
You're getting a little
Best
early on the Oscar.
Editing.
Best, how good was the sound? Was Will Smith rapping in it?
No, thank God. That's what made the sound so good.
You can't give an Oscar for sound of Will Smith's rapping in it.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Anyway, I thought that was on topic because that seems like an unhealthy relationship, whatever it is. You know, he laughs at Chris Rock, tells a joke. He laughs at it. He looks at Jada. She's like, and then he loses his mind. That's just an unhealthy dynamic. And my advice, my first bit of relationship advice is get out of there. Honestly, both of you, just get out of there. Go away.
Oh,
it's over. Leave.
If it don't work, can't make it work, Tim.
I think there's nobility in quitting.
I mean, yeah, there's a nobility.
There's honor in giving up.
What makes it noble is the introspection. It takes a degree of self-awareness. Ideally, if you're quitting for the right reasons. Anyway, Will Smith and Jada Smith historically bad relationship. You know what a good sign of a relationship is? My longtime partner, Lauren Moore, very sweetly came up with the title for these special episodes, Flirty for 30.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? I love that.
Yeah, I don't know what that says specifically about a relationship, but it says your partner's creative and funny. And maybe we should have her on the podcast more.
Yeah, probably should. Don't take this from me, Tim. I need this. You know, I was just trying to use us as a
great segue, Kevin. You did awesome.
Will and Jada. Thank you, Tim. It's time for Ask Reddit questions.
Yes.
First and foremost,
we're the first podcast to ever do this, I think.
We are actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Especially as two white men, which is nuts.
I know. Time for a white man's opinion.
Oh, boy. Let's mansplain some stuff, Tim. Am I overreacting?
Probably
Guy
not.
keeps sending me money. There's a picture here that says that there's been 9 transactions. And the total of those transactions is $470. Here is the body of the post. I am 20F, 20-year-old female. Met this guy, 28F. And it says, met this guy. We're going to let that slide. It's Gen Z. I don't know what's going on. On Bumble about 2 weeks ago. And he has already sent me close to $500. I do not ask for the money. And I say no. All caps, he won't stop. This is weird because I like guys taking me on dates and doing cute gestures, but this amount of money in a short amount of time makes me feel guilty. I'm thinking of ending it because I feel like this won't progress into a normal dating situation because he has already given me so much. Or am I just overthinking it? Tim, what do you think? This guy keeps sending money to this girl. What does she do here?
I think, we're not going to kink shame anybody on this pod. The last thing either of us would want to do is kink shame anybody. But it seems like this is kind of a thing for him. I'm guessing this is something that he gets off to, is sending money to women online. It's like a weird flex. I have money. I have power. He's like proving that he can be a provider, proving in his mind that he can take care of you. He has cash. He's so much cash. He's so powerful and great that he is willing to just toss it to somebody he doesn't know. And that's like, oh, if he's doing this now, then he must be able to treat me to more extravagant things going forward. I think that's his thought process. My advice to her would be like, it's going to be more of this. It's going to be more of this. That's the craziest thing to me about a lot of these is they're like, my partner did this crazy thing. I'm seeing this guy and he's doing this weird thing. It's like, this is the first of many. This isn't like the odds that these are one-offs is crazy. He's definitely sending money to other girls.
My mom has a really funny phrase about this that I love, which is people are the best they're ever going to be while you're dating them. Yeah. Which it took me a long time to realize is kind of a sick burn on my dad. She's only ever been married to my dad. She only has one marriage to base this off of.
The first year of marriage is as good as it's going to get.
But it is this. It's exactly like you said. It's going to be more of this. People let you know pretty much immediately what their behavior is going to be. I think it takes a lot to change. I think people can change, but I think especially with little peculiarities like this, it's odd. There's 2 big red flags here for me that I notice immediately. Number one is this is a weird flex. If you see somebody doing this, you don't know what the source of this flex is. It could be a kink that this guy has. It could also be that he buys into some Jordan Peterson, like male supremacy bullshit, where he thinks he needs to be this caveman, lugging back a bunch of hunks of meat to prove that he can do this thing. He's proven it. She doesn't need him to prove it, because the second big red flag here is her saying, I say no, he won't stop. Bad sign.
Wow. That's true. Very true. Very true. If he won't stop when you say no to this, he's just gonna do whatever he wants whenever he wants anyway. Yeah.
So we don't need to get too dark on that, but
I mean, the
I
kinky
read this,
part,
I'm like,
though,
you gotta run.
The kinky part, I feels like there's a whole industry of like sugar babies, sugar daddies. Like there are guys out there who get off to this. There's probably women who get off to this too, is like showering a younger, hotter person with your money,
I mean, yeah, but she is not necessarily aware of that. It certainly doesn't sound like she's aware of that. And just because it's something that works for him doesn't mean it works for her. Like,
I'm not saying she should be doing this. I'm just explaining. I just feel like I'm mansplaining that's what this man is. That's my opinion of this man. From 3 sentences about him online, I'm like, this guy is getting off to sending her money. It sounds like they've only been on like a couple dates, right? That's way too early to be sending cash.
It's been 2 weeks and he's sent like $470. I do also love the idea of us just mansplaining at each other. It's just an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
No, you don't get it. Let me explain this to you. This is what a man thinks about this.
Well, I'll tell you what this man thinks about it. I do think it's interesting you went straight to kink for this, because I've seen stuff where it's like FinDom, like financial domination.
Yeah.
But I feel like the thing tends to be in those situations, it's like a very clear, like, I don't know, like dominant submissive relationship there. And I don't necessarily get that impression from anything here. At the end of the day, like best case scenario is this guy is kind of forcing his interests in this relationship. It's been 2 weeks and that's a bad sign.
This guy is a red pill guy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not going good. And if you are OP, the throwaway handle is shot programmer 4545. Shot programmer, you got to get out of there. This is not for you. And,
so someone's got to comment the links
else
to this pod on there so that they can get some relief.
Oh yeah, well,
they can see how it is.
We'll do that for sure.
Are you staying in that relationship, Kevin? You're her. What are you doing?
I'm gone, dude. I am gone. Yeah.
Are you hanging out and milking it for a little bit, getting some nicer dinners, you know?
No, dude. If I find $20 on the street, I walk it to the nearest gas station and say, hey, I found this in case anybody's missing it. Like, there's no way. I don't have that in me.
That's why this podcast works. No, I agree. I feel like it is enough. You have got enough information to be like, if you're looking for a boyfriend, this is not him.
Yeah. This is not him. You ready for the next one, Tim?
Not him. That should be my catchphrase for this. Anyway, go.
All right. Next one. Am I overreacting? I pulled from r/am I overreacting for this? They are, because dating advice kind of sucked. And there's nothing in there that was very splashy. But am I overreacting? I mean, these things tend to be a little bit hyperbolic. I think this is the place to hunt. At least the best I found today. So am I overreacting? This is also financial. Am I overreacting for feeling insulted? My date Venmo requested me $3 for half of the fries. I, 28-year-old female, went on a first date with a guy, 30-year-old male. We got burgers and fries to share, and I offered to cover the tip since he paid for the meal. This morning, I woke up to a Venmo request for $3.25 with the note half the fries. At first, I thought it was a joke, but nope, he was serious. I declined it and texted him that it was petty. He responded saying I was overreacting, that it's about the fairness, and that's just how he is. Now I feel turned off and honestly insulted. My friends are split. Some think I'm being petty too. Others think it's a red flag. Am I overreacting?
Yeah. Would they have a whole meal or was it just French fries?
Seems like it was just fries.
They went out and just had fries.
We got burgers and fries to share.
Burgers and fries to share, and then he Venmoed her just for the fries?
Well, he paid for the meal, and then she covered the tip, and then he Venmoed for the fries. Look, this is weird, inconsistent behavior.
Like they split
for him.
The fries. Yeah.
It's weird for him. If you're going to do that, split the whole meal. But it's unclear whether this was it was a first date. You know, man, this is tough. And this is why communication's key. They went to a meal, which is a little bit more formal than if you meet somebody for coffee or something. You know, if you're meeting for coffee for a first date, I feel like it's pretty normal that you're each going to pay for your coffee. And then based on the chemistry there, you're going to determine whether or not to go get a meal for a date, right?
I'm a big fan of the coffee date, or grab a drink. You need something where, especially, you know, now it's all online dating. My experience has been online dating in New York. It's a numbers game. And you can talk to somebody online all you want. You can text with them. You have no idea who that person is until you meet in person. And you will know more sitting across from them at a bar or a coffee shop than you will texting them for months, right? You just will. So cut the bullshit. Don't text. Get right to the coffee shop. because after that, you'll know. You'll just know if you want to keep doing this or not. If you sit down for a restaurant, you order food. Now you've got to eat the food. Now you're hanging out. You're forced to be in this situation. If you go to a coffee shop, you get a coffee, you talk for 20, 30 minutes. Even if you're not into it, you can talk to somebody for 20 minutes and then just be like, okay, right, I'll see you later. And that's fine. It's been fine. It's happened to me where I haven't been into somebody or they haven't been into me. And, it's just like a cool, I got it. See ya. That's fine. It's over now. We don't have to waste any more time.
It's so much better.
I think the commitment of sitting down at a restaurant for a date is like too much. Unless you're already friends and you already have something there. If you're like meeting this person, restaurant's way, way too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, this is I'm kind of the more that I think about it, the more I'm a terrible person to have on this because I haven't dated in close to 13 years. But back when I was out there, went on a couple coffee dates.
Crank up the Model T and get behind the wheel, take his gal to the pop shop on the corner.
Ooh, boy, had to work all week to earn that nickel so we could go watch a silent film.
Sip a malt and watch a drive-in. But
boy, did that malt taste good when you were there with your best gal. Man, yeah. It was tough. Definitely went on a couple coffee dates. Definitely dodged a couple things that could have been dinner dates that way. I will say, had a really bad date that I'm thinking about right now. That was a dinner date. I had hung out and flirted with the person previously, but that had always been at bars when both of us were a little drunk. So the chemistry is a little easier. And then in the cold, hard light of sitting across from each other at an Italian restaurant.
Oh, no. You went right to Olive Garden?
Right to the Olive Garden. And man, it's tough to make conversation work that entire time.
Oh, it's just putting too much weight on a thing that is, the kind of thing I wish I knew it was younger is just like, none of this really matters.
Yeah.
If it's going to work, it's going to work. But I think a big reminder too, just for everyone who's out there in their 20s or whatever, guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. Girls don't know what the fuck. Nobody knows what they're doing. And even the thing they think they know in 5 years, they're going to be like, oh, I'm so stupid. My thought process in dating and everything has evolved over time. And, at first, but I do think this part is I don't know if it's red pilling, but it is like a little toxic masculinity or it's men hyping each other up and guys hyping each other up is this idea of splitting the bill. And guys don't want to get took. They don't want girls to use them for dinners and then ditch them, which in my experience, I don't know if that's as prevalent a thing as some people online make it seem. I think most people are actually trying to meet up and would like to meet somebody they have chemistry with. And if it doesn't work out, that's cool. That's why you keep it to a coffee date. That's why you don't commit financially to a 4-course meal with somebody you don't know at all yet. You don't even know if you're going to want to talk to them for an hour. Why would you sit and eat with them and spend more money on them? Coffee date, treat it. The $3 is what really gets me.
That's the thing. That's what makes this weird.
You'd spot your boy $3. If we went out for fries and one of us got fries, it'd be like, cool, man, you can have some fries. $3 is such an insignificant amount that just you having suggested the event, that's enough to not care about. $3 doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. And if $3 does matter, then you definitely should have done a coffee date.
Well, also, what are we doing? If $3 does matter, then in for a penny, in for a pound, you should do the entire half of the thing.
Right.
Half of the meal. The fact that it's just the fries is weird. And that tells me that something else is going on here. Something is not being communicated. I think this guy has hurt feelings about something. And maybe he's red pill, maybe he's not. But again, bad sign. There's something going on that's strange. And you just don't have to deal with that. If you are in a situation like this, especially on a first date, it's exactly like you said. You go through a couple of these things where you date people and you find out pretty quickly that they're not right for you. And that's okay. You don't have to deal with that. Just move on. In this case, I would say pay the $3.25 and move on. paying that $325 is going to save you a lot of money and heartache and exhaustion in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I guess it's
or
hard to
decline
tell.
It. What do you think? Do you pay it or decline it? I kind of part of me is like decline that shit.
I don't know. I think I would look at it as like I'm paying $3 to learn that this guy isn't worth pursuing.
Sure.
You know, like now I know it's $3. Sure. You know, whatever.
Yeah,
who cares? I'm not going to see this person again. We're done. You know, like I think that the request is enough to just be like, I don't really need to see this person again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially because they said one thing and now they're doing another. And then the other question is like, why are they doing this? Why is it $3? What are they feel like they're getting even on? If he bought burgers and fries, why is it just for the fries? Like, does he feel like he's getting taken advantage of? Is he like two in his head about this stuff? Does he need to be the provider or whatever? I don't know. That's where it gets a little weird. And I feel like this could also just be like a decent guy who's just like in his head about this stuff. And this is where I'm like, guys are dumb. Guys are stupid. He could be overthinking this thing. And, you know, his friend made fun of him because, oh, you just paid for everything. And now he feels like he has to, you know, get $3 from her so he doesn't look like a chump in front of the boys. You know, like it could even be something like that.
I mean, maybe, but if that's where he's at in his life, then that's not who you want to be dating anyway. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
And if this person's on the fence, like it sounds like she's on the fence about it, which means that the connection wasn't strong enough for any of this to matter. Like, it's kind of like, I forget what the principle is. Somebody came up with like a name for a principle where if any headline from a news source online, and I use news very loosely, is a question, the answer to that question is no. So you can save yourself a lot of time. So like, is Lady Gaga the new Freddie Mercury? The answer is no. The answer is no. She's incredible. She's the first Lady Gaga. She's not the next Freddie Mercury. And the comparison is stupid. They're just trying to get your clicks so they can get ad revenue. Same also, thing here.
If it was a yes, they just end it with a period. It'd be a statement. Yeah. If you can't put 10 toes down on something on a headline, like what are you even doing in the news business? You're just asking questions. Start a blog, you coward.
Start a blog, you coward. Yeah, at least get into like controversy farming or whatever the fuck they call it. Yeah, I do think, I mean, look, we've danced around this on two questions now. I do think obviously that there's a lot of really toxic shit going on with men online, shocker. And it's got to be really hard to try to figure out how indoctrinated into that shit the person that you're on one of these early dates is. And I mean, boy, oh boy, it's crazy. So much of it seems to be leaning on the same kind of like attention farming and like controversy stoking that we were just talking about with news headlines, where they will take a situation where maybe, you know, maybe a woman somewhere posted a thing that said, yeah, I went on a date with someone that I didn't really like just to get the dinner and moved on. Maybe it's even happened 10 times. But the thing that makes a post like that get to the front page of Reddit is the fact that it is exceptional and not ordinary. And therefore people pay attention to it. And it creates that fear of like, oh my God, is this happening to me? And then suddenly people take this thing that maybe happened a handful of times total in the 8 billion people that are on the planet. And suddenly they're like, this is a phenomenon where men are being taken advantage of. And they drill down harder and harder into it and just get out of control. I mean, it's the same shit that happens all over the place. It's just everything is being pushed to this extreme level. And I guess my advice for men out there that are listening would be just take a deep breath and calm down. Not everybody out there is trying to kill you or take advantage of you.
Yeah, I agree. I think all this stuff gets blown out of proportion because they need stuff to talk about, and it's hack and it's weird. And I think gone down a little bit of the Roganverse spiral recently with Mark Maron talking shit. And I mean,
that like elephant video, right?
Yeah. And I think one of the examples is like the way they talk about trans people. The way they talk about trans people in our country, it's like they're acting like there's an army of millions of trans people like marching towards Austin, ready to storm every bathroom that exists there. And it's like, this is like less than 1% of the population. This is not that many people, you know? And this happens with...
They're just trying to live. They're not storming
just trying
shit.
to live.
Yeah.
They're just trying to live. And it's, you know, it's not that big a deal. It's just not. And also, like, okay, so you went out on a date and the girl just used you to get a dinner. Cool, whatever. Like, who cares? Who cares? Maybe it's a little weird. You learned a thing. You learned to do a coffee date first, you know? Like, I think all this stuff is like they take a tiny thing that's abnormal and they blow it out and generalize. All women are like this because the one date I went on, this woman acted like this. The 2 women I've talked to in my life were like this. So that must be how all women are like. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just like typical red pill bullshit. Yeah. I also think, like, you know, as far as a first date goes, and there is like do you pay for the first date? It's like, yeah, if you're the guy, you pay. Sorry. I just think that's how it is. I think that's the thing, because I think a part of that is also just hosting. You are asking them out. You're inviting them to do this thing. You can get a coffee. You can get a drink. You can pay for a burger. You invited them out to this thing. It's showing hospitality in a third place. I don't think it's the end of the world. And I also don't think it's why you don't start off with like fine dining as the first, the first date.
Jesus. Yeah. I mean, hey, in branching that out a little bit, I'd say, yeah, that seems like a good rule. The inviter, the initiator pays. The person who proposed the idea of, hey, what if we go to this place that's going to cost us money? You pay for that. Yeah. Yeah. Unless the arrangement is otherwise.
I think if you end up dating somebody, like you're actually in a relationship, you end up splitting stuff.
Yeah.
You'd be crazy not to. I think people are worried that, oh, if I pay for this on this date, every date I'm going to have to pay for it. And it's like, no, I mean, after a certain point, you know, you talk about this stuff and you're closer and you have a relationship where you can talk about finances and real stuff and you figure it out.
Yeah. And I mean, generally speaking, ideally, you chill the fuck out. Like, that's a big advantage, is that you just, over time, you chill the fuck out. And I think that's good. And I want that for everybody.
Everyone should just chill the fuck out.
You ready for the next one, Tim?
Yes.
All right. Now, we may only have time for one more. So
let's do it.
We have one that's a little bit longer and it's a little bit crazier, or we have one that's a little bit shorter and it's about breaking up over a cat.
Oh, you know what? Let's do the shorter one for this pod. Let's save this one for the next one. Save the long one for the next pod. We're gonna do some scruples. We're gonna answer this question. That's a good teaser.
I like that. All right, Tim, am I overreacting? Breaking up over our cat. Maria, 24-year-old female, and I, 27-year-old female, have been dating for about a year and a half. Have been living together for a year and adopted a cat together less than 6 months ago. Before we adopted her, I let Maria know that I can be, well, extra when it comes to pets. She says, no problem, we get Piper. Important, it was Maria's idea to adopt her. Fast forward, and now we're always fighting over Piper. I am too much because I walk her outside, she's an indoor cat, on a leash, and take her out for errands in a cat backpack. Every new treat, toy, or scratching post is a blow up. Maria doesn't want me spoiling our cat. I fight with Maria now a lot because she doesn't like how I don't like how she treats Piper, sorry. I feel she yells at her often, and Piper will run under the furniture and hiss at Maria. She hasn't ever hissed at me and generally loves people. Very friendly cat. Our cat is vocal and a bit of a Velcro kitty with me, and I love it. Maria, not so much. Now the big deal, I like to have Piper sleeping in our room. She's a cuddler. Maria wants to lock her out of the room because she's annoying. Our fights get so bad over this sometimes I'll sleep on the couch with Piper. Now Maria's pressing me to make a choice, to choose her or Piper. Maria even mentioned she'd eventually leave me over how I am with our cat. Am I overreacting for wanting to break up over this? I don't think I should be asked to choose. And to be honest, I'd pick my cat 10 times over.
My sister's cat's name is Piper, so.
Is this her?
I'm like, there's a cat named Piper. Does this, did they change everything but the real cat's name?
Maybe. I dream of finding a real person that I know on one of these things sometime. It would be so funny. If you know that if you change one letter, it's like, oh, that's... I think Bailey might be Haley.
Oh my gosh.
I think Mike might be Mike. Tim, what do you think?
No way, Mike's Mike.
This is so clear cut. We can skip right to the end on this one. I do want to talk about it more, but she said that she would pick the cat 10 times over. That relationship is toast.
I think the relationship is toast. Do you feel like, because you have a cat.
Yeah, love it.
You and your incredible girlfriend. And do you feel like the way you and your partner interact with the cat is any indication of how you will be with kids potentially? You hang out with the cat, then you hang out with like the niece nephew. Is there any similarity there as far as like, I don't know. I guess I feel like the kind of person who's like mean to animals is probably not someone you want to have kids with. I guess that's my leading question.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's a great point. Both of us. I mean, I'm a big animal lover. We've discussed on the pod. That's one of the reasons Pokemon was so big for me. I love my little guys. And so Lauren's a big animal lover too. We both treat the cat extremely well. We try to take really good care of him. There's a bit of a difference. Like, you know, there are things that we procrastinate with the cat that we would not procrastinate if he was a human child. He really needs a dental cleaning, but we're really worried about it and all that good stuff. But like, your point stands. This one being mean to a cat's a bad sign.
If Lauren threw the cat in the air and then punted it as hard as she could, I feel like that would shake the foundation of your entire relationship.
Oh, that would change everything. I like that. That to me is one of those things where sometimes people do something that's such a sign of who they are on a deeper level. That one moment like that, like one real moment like that, would be the signal I need to change things, like to end things. So
I guess I'm describing like a psychopath at this point. So I don't think you have to worry about that.
Right.
But I think the idea of this person like yelling at their cat and the cat's scared of them and they're like, just why are they always fighting over this? I get if this person is spending millions of dollars a month on this cat or spending too much money on this cat, that's a conversation. But if this person's really just like yelling at this cat, I mean, how many reasons are there to yell at a cat?
Well, it's on a thing, it's not about the cat for this person. I'm not advocating yelling for the cat. I don't think it's right to yell at the cat, but clearly the behavior here, the cat is where Maria is taking her frustrations out on the relationship. I think Maria, if I had to guess, is not feeling like enough attention and affection is being paid to her.
That's really good.
She sees it happening to the cat. So she wants the cat out of the picture. Like maybe she doesn't want the cat in the bedroom because anytime she tries to initiate stuff, her partner's like, well, no, we can't do that. I'm cuddling with the cat. Like maybe the cat is preventing things in the relationship from Maria, which is a deeper conversation that you have as a conversation. You don't take out by yelling at a cat, but people aren't good at expressing their feelings, Tim.
That is good. I think that is really good. Maria, is that the one who hates the cat?
Maria is, yes.
Maria is like another scratching post. You said we couldn't go out. We couldn't afford to go out to a date this week.
Wow.
You missed our date and you bought a new scratching post. Like, who the heck do you think you are? Like, at least give me some good loving at the end of the day. And it's like, but the cat's here. Why is the cat in the bed with us? You know, I just need some space away from the cat. I need you to be entirely focused on me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that this person has an is obsessed with the cat to an unhealthy degree. That's entirely possible.
I was just going to say that maybe it's like a hobby thing too that's changed the relationship where it's like I think we both known people who suddenly get very into things. Like they suddenly get very into hobbies and then surprise, that's their personality now. And they've spent thousands of dollars on this thing.
Like studying abroad.
Like, yeah. And so it's very possible that like maybe the original poster has become this cat person, and maybe the way that person is behaving has made the relationship different. Like either way, a change has happened in this relationship and it needs to be addressed, and it's not being communicated right now. So they need to talk about it. But realistically, based on the behavior that's being described here, the relationship probably needs to end anyway. How long have they been dating?
Too long.
About a year and a half, and living together for a year.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you live together, to figure this stuff out. I mean, I don't think this is crazy. I also think on Reddit, there's like a tendency to be like, oh, somebody's good and somebody's bad. You know, like it's real black and white. And it's like, this could be a crazy cat person and a partner who just wants to go out on dates, you know, or it's it's somebody who's like, I don't necessarily think there's any bad guys in any of these situations. It's just, you know.
Yeah, it's all you gotta, with Reddit, you gotta just assume that you have an unreliable narrator. I think that'd be the hardest part of being an actual therapist, is trying to figure out what that somebody is telling you is actually true. Because I've had people in my life tell me stories about things that they have said to their therapist. And in the back of my mind, I'm going, you lied to your therapist because I have known you for 10 years. And that is not what that situation was like at all.
You ever call
Crazy
him out?
to see that shit happen.
You should be saying that. You can't tell me the truth. You can't tell your therapist the truth. Who are you going to, you lying to everybody?
Who you gonna lie to next?
Opens his mouth. It's like bullshit comes out.
My God.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I think we crushed this advice. I think we were very, very relationship positive. You know, get out of there.
Get out of there. Not him. Tim, it feels good to have all the answers. Not him. Listener, if you have any questions for us, let us know. Send us an email, nerdy430@gmail.com. We'll read it on the next 30 for 30. We're going to be back here again next week. I think we're going to try one of these again. So we'll see you then. Until then, stay flirty, everybody.
Stay flirty. Bye.
Bye.
Have fun. Get your flirt on.